First and foremost, for the Inter-Party Advisory Council, there's a new chairman. I'm former chairman. But for the coalition, I actually attended several meetings of the current coalition and was part of several deliberations. For the opportunities that lies for the coalition and their plan to remove the current administration that is not underperforming seriously, I think there are a lot of chances. But those chances should be predicated on certain factors and drawn within certain parameters. You need candidates that have momentum, that have public appeal, that are that have organic depth of support, that to be able to go into the ballot so that you have the go onto the ballot so that you have the opportunity to remove the current government. So the only way to defeat this current government is to have a candidate that will have the capacity to do so. And you can't come and put innuendos and rhetoric and say, oh, it must be the North, pursuing generalization statement on general terms without specifically stating what candidate you think should be that. For me, I think that candidate should be Peter Obi. Candidate that have moved that goes around from state to state, that move from Jigawa to from Abuja to Kafasha to Kaduna, even to Olamaboro in Kogi State, and I've been to several technical institution, nursing school. We can't have people who are not showing compassion, who are not showing that they have the capacity to be able to know the terrain of this country. Because the problem we have put people in government who have not been able to even know what is the route that link between Ogugu to Enugu. What is that road? People don't travel, they travel on shop. But I have seen a candidate. I will not come to do a statement on that I will not mention name of those I think that can win this thing. And if you look at the last election, there was no political entrenchment. There was no political structure. People say, oh, there are 3 people tweeting in one room. There are no governors, there are no senators. But that election, Obi has proven beyond reasonable doubt that he has the public, the people have interest in him, because it's about the messaging, it's about the acceptance, because you can be popular and then you go to the ballot and there's no result. But people accept you, that's where your popularity translates into vote. So you look at the Southern election that was conducted, despite the fact that APC was in control of the structure in the entire south of our country. And PDP was in control of, within the South, PDP was in control of Delta. In that Delta, they had a vice presidential candidate for the PDP, and Atiku won the vote. Peter Obi won the vote there over 80%. You have the Southern election statistics where Peter Obi had 44.5%, Atiku had 19.4%, Tinubu had 35.5%, and Kwakwaso had 0.48%. Where he defeated every candidate that participated in the South. And when you come to the North, he had a substantial share. You have to take away the rigging, because the people say, oh, he didn't win the election. People are claiming he won the election. We need to go to the IRF and see that there are a lot of irregularities, a lot of forged results that were posted there. And if you look at the BBC report, expose done on River State, including Premium Times, you will find out that Peter Obi defeated every other candidate in River State. These are data that are verifiable, that you can reach out to. We can't just sit down and then come to a station and then try to put up candidates that are not going out there to sell themselves, to go around to connect with Nigerians, to show compassion to people who are going through crisis, like what happened in Makwa, and then we go and elect candidate again that will now start to draw Nigerian back.
This man said nothing but absolute truth. If you have been following my page, you will notice I have been hammering on these things. And these things are what are being checked when you want to go into a coalition to remove an incumbent. And my joy is that there are Nigerians who are seeing the same thing, who also understand the same thing. So let us just break down the things that he said. And like I said, many of them, if not all of them, are things I have been sharing on this page about how to remove an incumbent, especially when you are forming a coalition. Number one, he mentioned the issue of mass appeal. And that is a fact. You need a candidate with an organic followership, a candidate that has that mass appeal, that can overwhelm the system. Because first and foremost, you will need the votes so that you can even begin to talk about stopping rigging. So if you don't have the votes, you don't even have any rigging to stop. So the first and foremost is that you have to give the ticket to the candidate that has mass appeal. Yes, they are talking about primaries. You can even come up and say you have a consensus candidate. It is done where a party will adopt a candidate and say that this candidate is our consensus candidate, and case closes. So the first thing that he mentioned, which is correct, which is something that even any layman will understand, is that you need a candidate that has that mass appeal. And the truth is that the only person that has grassroots followership that is not bought with dollar or bought with any money, is Peter Obi. That is his number one point. The number two, he talks about past performance. I said it before that someone like Amechi is an untested ground. You don't use an untested soldier to go into battle, especially to a battle where you know your enemies already. You are sure that your enemies are strong and you understand what they are made of. So he is talking about past performance in the last election. That if you look at it, he explained it very, very well. That the truth of the matter is, with all articles, PDP governors and senators and rep members, and with APC, who were in control of almost every region, yet, even with their rigging, I am so happy that he mentioned this rigging matter. It is clear, even premium times like he mentioned, BBC, European Union, they all mentioned, especially Rivers. What happened in Rivers? It is a clear day robbery. So everybody knows that P2B was rigged out. That is a fact. That is a fact. That is the truth. So, but even with all the manipulations, with everything that they did, this man was still able to get 6 million votes. They cut his vote down to 6 million. So Atiku, with all the things that he had, the governors, the senators, the House of Rep members, the state assembly members, and every other person that he had in his team, yet we got almost the same vote that he got, official vote. Of course, you all know that we won the election. So if I should say, even with all the things that he had, we still won the election. Mind you, that as APC was collecting our votes, PDP was also collecting our votes in some PDP-controlled states. And that was what was going on. So in all of that, you notice that if you also look at past performance, Obi has shown capacity, that he has the votes, and that is the truth. Then the other thing that he said was about competence. P2B has been going round showing even governance without even being in the office. He has been going to schools, he has been showing empathy, he has been showing to the IDP camps, he has been the one that has been providing succor to suffering Nigerians. And that is what he was saying, and that is a fact. And then this man has traveled around Nigeria and he knows the road. When you see Peter Obi talking, he'll be mentioning the states, mentioning the local governments, mentioning the towns, mentioning the cities. This is a person that has traveled, that has known what the issues are. And that makes a lot of sense. So I am happy that Chief Ameh has come out and has made it clear. The thing is that if the coalition really wants to succeed, if their aim is not to satisfy their political aim or to satisfy their ambition, the truth is that the coalition has to adopt Obi as their candidate. And that is the truth. Thank you for your time, and may God bless you.